Good evening, powerful, beautiful women. Welcome to Call 10 in the Success Without Struggle Mastermind. Tonight we are talking impression of increase, more juice, more lovely things that we are diving into. Before we do that, though, I know Jill wanted to have a love seat for a couple of minutes to get some clarity on her visualizations. And I wanted to let you know some changes that are going on in my company and in my programs. Y'all can hear me, right? We're good. Okay. I just saw the microphone muted, and then for a second it just made me panic for a moment. So anyway, God, really amazing things happen when you will align yourself. It's all about vibration. And when we let go of the how and we just get really focused on what it is we want and staying in a beautiful state, asking the appropriate questions like, what might I do to get this? What could I do to get me closer to this today? So that we're still fluid and we're still flowing with this, then things drop in and ideas come and connections are made that just blow everything out of the water. And it's so amazing. And Jill has shared some of the things that have happened with her. And it's all about vibration. It's all about alignment. And it's just really exciting. So I just want to say props to Jill and thank you so much for sharing those successes and the victories that are coming and the things that are changing. It's super exciting. And I know Jill is, and some people have said, hey, are we going to have access to these calls after this? Like, what are we going to do when this is over? Because it's such a powerful group of women. And I don't think that it should ever end. And so I've actually restructured some programs in my company, and I have created it's called Rise Up Group Mentoring, and I brought back private mentoring, but I'm going to tell you a little bit about the Rise Up program. So the Rise Up program is going to have these videos, not necessarily specific ones, but these trainings that I've done is going to be put into a library. So you'll have lifetime access to those videos in the library. And then I will do ongoing calls with deeper dives and greater like more techniques and, you know, just deeper dives for individualized coaching twice a month. And the calls are 2 hours long so that we really have that time to explore. We really have that time to go deep. And if we're not feeling like we're crammed and we're rushed and all of that. And so I am so excited and so thrilled to be able to offer this to you guys. And so this will be like the natural next thing to go into after the Success Without Struggle Mastermind is over. And so that I'm keeping the price the same at $249 a month, and it's a 4-month program again, but then you have the option to renew after each 4-month period, because it's going to be ongoing trainings, ongoing techniques, ongoing dives, so that we're just continuing to build and continuing to grow. And so this doesn't have to end if you don't want it to end. And I would love to continue to be your mentor beyond this program. So we've still got a good 6 weeks in here. So it's nothing that has, you know, it's not a decision that has to be made in the next 6 minutes, but definitely a seed that I want to plant. And what I have found is that when you find a mentor that you really resonate well with, it's best to stay with that mentor for a couple of years, 2 or 3 years, to really get the depth, to really, because they're growing right along with you, but they're farther down the path than you are. So they can still help you navigate stuff that's coming up and bumps that you're going through, but they're also expanding their capacity and are able to then continue to teach you and continue to help you to grow. So I have found that's been really effective for me, is when I found a mentor that I just love, I stick with her for a while. And that has been very, very beneficial. So just wanted to let you know what's going on with that. Some of you might want to have more individualized as far as customized coaching, tailored coaching, and I have brought back my private mentoring for that. All of my slots this month are filled. but I am opening up 4 slots in June. And so that one actually gives you full access to the Rise Up mentoring program. So you get that $9.97 program for free in there, and then you get 2 private calls with me every month where we're just getting in there, we're getting really dialed in on your neds, we're getting really dialed in on the next thing that you're working towards, perhaps still the same thing that you're working towards, but we're I'm able to do customized energy work on you in those calls as well. And then you get full on access to me through text, through Voxer, through email, so that anytime you're going sideways, you can Vox me or text me, and I can get you right back on track, so that you're not, like spinning off here for 3 days when there's no need to. We can get you right back on track in 3 minutes. And so that is $2,500 upfront or $3,000 in a payment program or a payment plan. So if that's something that you want to explore after this program is done, then you can send me a private box, or you can shoot me an email, and I would love to have a conversation with you about that as well, and continue to working with you and just do it on a deeper level. Okay, so with that said, do we still have Jill on the call? I saw her and then she disappeared. Oh, there she is. All right, Jill. Are you unmuted, darling? You are.
Am I?
I can hear you.
Okay. I'm like, I don't know.
I don't know. Let me check.
That's why I have everybody else do my computer technology stuff.
Right.
No.
Okay, so tell me what you're needing, what you're looking for.
So, yeah, just the words are fine. I can look up in a dictionary and see, joyful, just abundant, those kind of things, but putting it into kind of a story, that's what you're super good at. And that's, kind of an area where I'm struggling a little bit, is kind of, I can say the words just themselves, but to put it in a story with a flow and to really kind of get into that, like, oh my gosh, I can totally see this as my life, is kind of where I'm struggling a bit.
Okay, have you written anything down?
No.
Okay, so that's your first assignment. Is you need to write something down, because we could spend this whole hour fleshing out what that story would look like once you've reached partnership or whatever your goal is, which would serve other people, but that's more private coaching stuff that we would do. So what I want you to do is write it down and then put it in the Voxer group, and then I can walk you through how to do it. So, a day in the life of, like, the day after Jill reached partner in the firm, and or maybe it's a month after, like, it doesn't matter, but you have to already have the result in your mind. Okay. Right. And you can do it a number of ways. You can just kind of walk through your day and what it looks like and how it feels. So, and this is what the house looks like, and to celebrate, we got this piece of furniture, or we went on this vacation, we took this cruise with the family, or like whatever you want that to look like. But I would start it with, man, I wake up feeling well rested, refreshed, and absolutely glorious, or euphoric. I love that word. I think you should start with euphoria. I am euphoric about my life. I wake up, I bounce out of bed, and this is how the day unfolds, and this is how we flow. This is how we flow through the day.
I love that. As I have been doing kind of my morning routine and working on, I've been getting up earlier. Just one time have I bounced out of bed. And so that's really helped me, though, because I'm like, okay, it's possible. I've done it.
You've done it.
Most of the time I'm like, okay, I'm getting up, So I haven't found that, like, enthusiasm yet. But I've had it once.
It will come. Okay, so we know you're capable of it, which is magnificent.
Yes.
Oh gosh, can I do this? This is kind of an advanced. This is an advanced thing. Yeah, we're gonna go here. We're gonna do this. and help you here with it's so amazing. It's so fun. Okay, so with your visualizing, I know a lot of people have a hard time not only picturing it, but they have a hard time feeling it. And so, like, we do a meditation, and how I used to do meditations, and a wonderful place to start is where I taught you, you know, counting in with the 4 breaths to receive and then to release is a perfect place to start, because then you are learning how to calm your mind and quiet your mind. And that's critical. It's critical. We have to calm our mind. We have to be in a relaxed state before we're going to meditate or before we're going to visualize. And so what you're going to do is, Jill, you're going to write down, and this is for everybody, you're going to write down, like, once you've reached that goal, what it looks like. And so get quite detailed with it, what the day looks like. So I have in there that I wake up at 5 o'clock every morning feeling energized and excited for this time for me to do my spiritual work or something like that. But I have in there specifically, I wake up at 5 every morning on the weekdays, and I'm filled with energy, and the energy lasts throughout the day. And then I have in there just how fulfilled I feel, and that I'm working with clients, and just the flow of the day. So I fleshed it out, like what my body looks like, how I feel in my body. I'm trying to think what else. So I write this whole thing out. It's probably about a half a page if you're going to do a full notebook page. I don't want you writing 14 pages, all right? But then you're going to take whatever is on your goal card, and you're going to write this, you're going to start and write it down, whatever is on your card. And then you're going to set your timer for between 10 and 20 minutes. So this is your visualization or meditation time during the day. And you're going to take the first minute or two to relax your body. And I start with my toes, my feet, my ankles, my heels. I move up to my shins, my calves, and all I say is, you're relaxed. My knees are relaxed, my quads are relaxed, my hamstrings are relaxed, my pelvis is relaxed, my torso, my hips, my bottom is relaxed, my spine is relaxed, and I just move all the way up into my body, and you're relaxed and you're loose. Really important, tell your mouth to, my mouth falls open just a little bit because my jaw is so relaxed. The muscles around my eyes are relaxed, between my eyes are relaxed, my forehead is relaxed. So you're going to spend a minute just telling your body to relax. Once you're relaxed, you're in a state of hypnosis, and now you get to play. And so this is where you're like, okay, and here we go. What does the day look like? I am now X amount of months in the future, and I have gotten my goal, and I'm at lunch with my best friend, and she's saying, girlfriend, what did you do? You are totally different. What happened? And now you get to tell her in your visualization what you did, how life has changed, what it looks like, how you feel. What you're doing, visualization, is creating a memory of something that hasn't happened yet. The awesome thing about it is that you're in your subconscious now, and you're rewiring the programming. And now the function of the mind is to make the program that you're running the reality. So we want to run this memory that hasn't occurred yet as though it's a memory. It's already happened, because the brain's a goal-achieving machine, and its function is to mirror the program that you're running. It's going to start doing it. Okay? So you start with writing your goal statement, then you do your 10 minutes or between 10 and 20 minutes of your visualization, and it is so alive and it's so much fun. And then you're going to end it with writing it again. All right, and I've dated mine, so you're going to write the same date. You're going to put everything on there that you have. Now let me be really clear. You're just writing what's on your goal card. You're not writing out like the whole day in the life of that's taken you a page to do or a half a page to do, okay? Because that'll take you forever, and you'll do it twice, and then you'll be like, this is taking too long. Okay, but I want you to get really grounded in what that would look like and how that would feel, and then move into that visualization. And I want you to do it every day for 30 days and watch how things change. Watch what drops in. It's so fun, you guys. Oh my gosh, it's so fun. All right, so that came out of inspiration for you guys. That wasn't going to happen tonight, but it's supposed to. So, oh, and Pat, I just want you to know that my brother and his family are in Paris today. He sent me pictures of them posing at the Eiffel Tower, and they've got a laser show and a light show going on at night. So he sent me a picture of the Eiffel Tower all lit up. I should see if I can get that picture into the Voxer group. Like, it was so much fun. And I'm like, oh, Paris. Oh, Pat. So anyway, Paris is in my space, and since you're in my space, it's in your space too. So I know it's in your space all the time. All right. Okay, Jill, is that kind of helpful?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, awesome. So write that. If you're needing some more guidance, put it in the Voxer app, put it in the Voxer group, and then we can flesh it out. And if anybody else needs help like that as well, of course, I'm happy to help. That's what the Voxer group is for. So yeah, but I want you, like, yeah, I want you to do the back end stuff first so that we know what we're working with. All right. Sweet. Okay, and now for the recap. We're 20 minutes into the call. We haven't even started what I wanted to talk about today, because we're talking about what we need to talk about. It's beautiful. Okay, so we're going to go way back in the past to 10 weeks ago. And our first call, we started off about being really specific, making a specific, tangible result that you want to have in your life and writing it on our goal card and looking at it often. Remember, we started a 30-day experiment. And in that 30-day experiment, we were to use our imagination. We were to have courage into thinking about what we wanted and using the meditation and going into a relaxed state. We were thinking about what we wanted. We're also saving some money, saving 10% of everything that we earn, so that we're putting ourselves first and putting ourselves as a priority. But most important, we landed on our goal and we're working towards our goal. And then our next call, we talked about beautiful states versus suffering states, and that all suffering is caused by unintelligent thinking. And the moment of transformation occurs when we recognize how we're feeling is caused by unintelligent thinking. And when we recognize that it's unintelligent thinking and what we're believing in that moment is a lie, we can step back into that beautiful state, and that is where the moment of transformation occurs. Remember, any time that we are feeling anxious, depressed, restless, bored, anytime that we're in a suffering state, it's because we're believing a lie, and our body has this amazing guidance system to tell us immediately when we're out of alignment with who we truly are and that we're believing something that is not actually true. And so when we recognize that, we get into awareness. Now, sometimes we're in that angst and don't even realize what's going on. And so when you're in that suffering state, get curious and just explore the thinking that caused the suffering state. And then in our third call, perhaps the most powerful, life-changing call, are that beliefs are decisions. And our power lies in making new decisions and committing to the decisions. And that's where we learned about NEDs and recording our NEDs and the daily affirmation, not so that we're convincing our mind of anything different, but that we are conditioning our mind in new ways of thinking. And then our fourth call was our money call, and how money actually works and what we need to do on our end to continue to bring money back to us again and again and again. We've got to give money a purpose, and our sense of security and comfort is not a big enough purpose for money to come in. But when we're attaching it to something that lights us up, that we have a purpose for, that's what will bring money in, and it's supposed to circulate. It's called currency for a reason. And then in call 5, we talked about active directed faith, with that you live in the world where you're getting your pony and you get prepared for your pony. You remember we talked about Edwene Gaines and her younger brother Penn, who was 6 years old and decided he was getting a pony for Christmas, even though there was no way he was getting a pony, but he got prepared for it anyway, lived in that world, and he got his pony for Christmas. Remember that active directed faith is just truth spoken in advance. So when we continue to connect to that principle of power and that literal frequency and vibration, things have to move out of our way for us because we move with that, we move with that truth and we follow that truth. And then we learned about the power of imagination and going into our mental workshop and how crucial mental ownership is of whatever it is that we are going after. And then we learned about the science of getting rich. So we've learned the science of getting rich, and we've talked about how thought is the only power and the only thing that can actually influence formless substance and then create things out of formless substance. And then we learned about gratitude and the power of gratitude, that we need to be in harmonious vibration or harmonious relation with our higher power, with our source, because that's what brings us greater wealth, is whatever we're connected to. So we've got to go into gratitude. And then we learned last week about acting in the certain way. And acting in the certain way is moving forward without fear, without hesitation, with the certainty that what you want is on its way to you. And that certainty, which is backed by your new beliefs and led forth by faith, which is truth spoken in advance, is what allows you to feel certain in the midst of uncertainty, which allows you to positively impress formless substance with what it is that you want instead of what it is you fear, and then your whole world begins to change. So that leads us up to tonight's call, which is the impression of increase. This is such a wonderful topic, because it's all about, again, it's all about vibration, and it's all about what you're believing and what you are sending out. And so many people have the mantra of fake it till you make it, but you can't fake your vibration. We can fake our thoughts, but we can't fake the vibration. And so we've got to shift the vibration, and we do that by really owning the impression of increase. So Wallace Waddle starts out by saying, whether you change your vocation or not, your actions for the present must be those pertaining to the business in which you are now engaged. So don't be thinking that you've got to do some wildly different thing that's to change everything. You don't. All you have to do is change the belief. He says you can get into the business you want by making constructive use of the business you're already established in, and by doing your work in a certain way. So the certain way with whatever job that you're doing right now, whether you love it or whether you don't love it, whether it's the one that's feeding your mission and your soul or not, is immaterial. Doing something in a certain way means that you're showing up. You're doing your best at whatever it is in your life right now. So that's what he means by making constructive use of the business you're already established in. And then it's living in that quiet assurance, that certainty that what you want is on its way to you, that you're on the right path. Even if nothing in your circumstances have changed yet except for you, you're the linchpin for whatever result you want to come into you. And so that's the only thing that you have to change, is your belief and your vibration. We got to keep you in a beautiful state. He says, insofar as your business consists with dealing with other men, the key thought of all your efforts must be to convey to their minds the impression of increase. So how are you improving somebody's life? By being part of it. How are you showing up? How are you serving? It could be something as easy as a smile, looking somebody in the eye and giving them a compliment. It doesn't have to be any huge overt act. It's just, how are you serving? What kind of a servant's heart do you have? How are you showing up? We've all had experiences before with somebody that has conveyed impression of increase to us that we feel really good. Man, they gave us some fabulous service right there, and I want to come back. I want to take your dumb survey and give you a thumbs up because you served me really well. And there's others that you know they would rather be any place but helping you out. And so we're always conveying something. What are we conveying? Impression of increase or something different? Increase is what all men and all women are seeking. Increases the urge of the formless intelligence within them seeking fuller expression. That's what the whole purpose of this whole like earth life experiment is fuller expression and fuller joy and being able to play on the physical plane. He says the desire for increase is inherent in all nature. It's the fundamental impulse of the universe. All human activities are based on the desire for increase. People are seeking more food, more clothes, better shelter, more luxury, more beauty, more knowledge, more pleasure, increase in something, more life. So isn't it really interesting that we're here to expand, we're here to grow, and it's funny to me because I'll get so single focused on something that I'm like, you know what, this is all I want. Like once I get this, I will be complete. And then something else comes that I didn't even know existed. And then I'm like, oh, and I also want that too, because that's going to help. And so we're always increasing. There's never like this stopping point. We don't ever arrive on this planet like, yeah, I'm here and I'm all done. It's in that impression of increase is inherent, that desire for growth, that desire for expansion and fuller expression is inherent in every single one of us. So don't be surprised. Like I continued to be surprised, like, oh, there's something else I want. I was going to be done once I hit this and I got it, but now I want something else. It's in our nature. That's how we're made. You know that saying, you should just be happy with what you have? Why can't you just be happy with what you've got? That is important to acknowledge because of the importance of the law of gratitude. Remember, he says in the gratitude chapter that if you're not satisfied with what currently is, you begin to lose ground. When you look around with dissatisfaction, that's when you start to lose ground. So it is really important that we do have that gratitude, we do have the appreciation for what is right now and being content with that. However, I think we use it as an excuse to settle because we get scared. And so that's a really great, it's a really great excuse to not actually go for our dreams. You know what, I'm just going to be happy with what I have. I'm so blessed, and who am I to say I want more? Because that makes me greedy and that makes me selfish when there's so many other people that don't have it as good as I do. And here I have the audacity to ask for more. Like, what kind of a selfish creature am I? When is it ever going to be enough? I'm just going to be happy with what I have. It's a cop-out, ladies. That is a cop-out. And it's also why we feel bad at the idea of settling. So on the one hand, we're trying to like soothe ourselves that I'm not being greedy here by just being happy with what I have. But on the other hand, we're like, there's this thing in us that's just like, oh, seriously? Like, oh, we're not even gonna go for it? Like, oh, man. Or you'll look at other people and you'll think, man, they can do it. Why can they do it and I can't? I wish I had whatever they had. Let's see, Jill. That word content has often been confusing for me as I've been learning about abundance and expanding. Oh, the word content. Sorry, I mispronounced it. I'm like, word content. Yeah, content. It is. So it's important that we have the content, that we're content with what we've got, but that we're always reaching for more, because that's what we're here to do. So yeah, we definitely want to acknowledge and appreciate what already is, and that's what's working in our circumstances, but then keeping our eye on the horizon and keeping our eye on that next summit that we're headed to. That's what we're here to do. Wallace goes on to say, every living thing is under this necessity for continuous advancement. Where increase of life ceases, dissolution and death set in at once. Men instinctively know this, and hence he is forever seeking more. The minute we start, no, you didn't misspell it, I just misread it. So you're good. Sorry, Jill said, sorry, spelling errors. No, I just read it wrong. He then says the normal desire for increased wealth is not an evil or a reprehensible thing. It is simply the desire for more abundant life. It's aspiration. Now, this right here, this sentence right here, is what flipped my husband's mind from not allowing himself to dream and not allowing himself to want more, to understanding what it actually means. It shifted the way Jeremy thought about wealth and what his perception of wealth was. So he finally got permission to want a better life while still being in appreciation for all of the abundance that surrounded him currently. Now he could go after what he wanted without apology and without justification. And that's what this does, having this understanding of what this is. It's not evil, it's not reprehensible, it's not that you're selfish, it's not that you're greedy, it's not that things are never enough. It's that this is the way we're designed. We're designed to grow. And in fact, God gets his, like, we are God's crowning creation. Yes, Shamara, I'll read that sentence again in just a minute. Let me finish this thought. Thank you for the question. So we're God's crowning creation. And the reason why we're his crowning creation and that he gets glory through us is that because of us, he's able to experience greater glory, greater, like, fuller expression. It's like when you have your dream, right? And it's in spirit form, it's in idea form in your mind. And then when you experience it on the physical realm, it's fuller expression. It has the same flavor. It's got the same vibration to it. So it's not even really a surprise when you get it, because it feels the same, because you've just matched your vibration to the vibration of what this is that you want. But it's so much more rewarding once you're there, once you're in Paris, once you're staring at the Eiffel Tower, once you're circling the park. Like, once you're there, it's like, oh, like this, like it's like this relief that comes because you're able to experience it in that physical form instead of just in the spirit form that's in your head all the time and in your heart. It has to start here. It's got to start with the thought. It's got to start with the idea. But God gets that, his fullest expression through us, because we are here experiencing it on the physical plane. And that's where we get the fullest amount of joy and the fullest expression, is because of our bodies. And it's just amazing. All right, the sentence again. The normal desire, this one, the normal desire for increased wealth. Let me know if it's the wrong sentence, but I'll read this one again. The normal desire for increased wealth is not an evil or a reprehensible thing. It is simply the desire for more abundant life. It is aspiration. And my friends, guess who gave us the desire? God. God planted those desires within us. Those desires are divine. And we go about trying to justify it, trying to figure out how we can earn it, why we deserve it. We go into all of this justification about why it should be okay for us to do this. Oh, if it helps other people, then it will, then I can have it, then I can want it. Well, why don't we just accept it? Like, this is my desire. And I know it was planted in me through divinity, by divinity. So why, I'm not going to deny it anymore. I'm just going to accept it unapologetically and go for it. That's increase. It's aspiration. It's what we're here to do. It's fuller expression. It's all it is. All right, because it is the deepest instinct of their natures, all men and women are attracted to him who can give them more of the means of life. In following this certain way, you are getting continuous increase for yourself, and you are giving it to all with whom you deal. And that's what's so great about impression of increase and acting in the certain way. You are a creative center from which increase is given off to all. Be sure of this and convey assurance to every man, woman, and child with whom you come in contact. no matter how small the transaction, even if it be only the selling of a stick of candy to a little child, put into it the thought of increase and make sure that the customer is impressed with the thought. And you do this with your thought and with your belief and with your certainty that you are in the way of increase. You are in the path. You are on the path of increase. Let's just be really clear. You are all in this mastermind because I conveyed to you the impression of increase. You wanted what I had. You might not have even known what it was, but you knew that you wanted what I had. That's why we hire mentors, because even if we can't put our finger on quite what it is that they have that we want, we just know they have it. And that's why we hire them, because we want to learn how they think. We want to learn how they process. We want to get what they have. And that's why we seek and we're attracted to people that convey the impression of increase. Let's see, Jill says, 2 years ago, a friend of mine said that same thing to me, that who put those desires in me. I had never thought that before. It stopped me in my tracks. I never considered that and often felt selfish or that my desires weren't good. And now you are here saying it again. Let me be the second witness to that. They're God-given desires, and it is our duty to bring them into physical form. That's what we're here to do. So thanks for sharing that, Jill. You can convey this impression of increase by holding the unshakable faith that you yourself are in the way of increase. What's faith? It's truth spoken in advance. So if your increase has not come to you yet in the fullest expression that you want it, or maybe it hasn't come at all yet, truth spoken in advance. I am in the way of increase. Okay, and letting this faith inspire, fill, and permeate every action. So I'm going to read that sentence again. You can convey this impression by holding the unshakable faith that you yourself are in the way of increase, and by letting this faith inspire, fill, and permeate every action. Do everything that you do in the firm conviction that you are an advancing personality and that you are giving advancement to everybody. Feel that you are getting rich, and that in so doing, you are making others rich and conferring benefits on all. Whatever you're feeling in any given moment is what you are in any given moment. That's why the beautiful state is so critical and the NEDs are so critical. They go together, because I changed things last year by getting into a beautiful state, by just obsessing about what I wanted, forgetting about the circumstances and the hows, and just going to my happy place in Hawaii and following the nudges. That was a beautiful state, and I didn't even realize that that's actually what I was creating. But I didn't change the beliefs. It's so important that you change the beliefs. Now, I changed them a little bit, but I wasn't deliberate in changing the beliefs. When I learned how to change the beliefs, that's when things happened really, really, really quickly. Within a week or two, things, boom, shifted. Because then I combined the beautiful state with the NEDs. And now it's backed by the belief that serves me and literally leads me to that goal that I have in mind and to the next thing that I'm obsessing about and feeling so grateful for. And so that's why if you haven't been doing your NEDs, repent and go back and do your NEDs again. You know you've changed the program when the results change. So if your results haven't changed in your circumstances, if nothing has shifted yet, it's because the belief hasn't changed yet. And that's okay, it's a process. So just keep listening to them. If you have to kick it up to 4 or 5 times a day because you're feeling particularly resistant to it, then bump it up to 4 or 5 times a day if that's what you need. But let it be simple. Let it be easy. We don't have to We don't have to do so much digging. We know what the limiting beliefs are. We know what the empowering beliefs are, because they're just the opposite of the limiting beliefs. And then we find evidence that supports it, that's already there. That's the formula for changing the beliefs. And then we just listen to it over and over and again, because that's how we reprogram our subconscious, is through repetition. And hypnosis is really great too. This is why we're doing the visualization, because we're using a little bit of hypnosis. All right. So again, what you're feeling in any moment is what you are in any given moment. So, and that's why I went to the net, so that we're changing the belief, so that you're taking out all the roadblocks. That's why being broke and feeling poor are two completely different things. It's why you can be in a beautiful state when you're broke, but you're only in a suffering state when you feel poor. What you feel, you become. So what is the dominant feeling? Is it frustration? Is it impatience? Was that Amy today on Voxer who was like, let me pull it up. Anybody finding themselves struggling with impatience and endurance? So are we, where are we? What's our dominant thought? If our dominant thought or our dominant feeling is impatience, or the dominant feeling is struggle, that's who we are in that moment. And because we live in this world of vibration, in this world of attraction, you attract events and circumstances and situations and people that are in harmony with that vibration. It's why it's critical that we're in massive awareness with zero judgment, my friends, zero judgment, and just understanding that if we continue to perpetuate whatever state we're in, that's what we become, and that's what we experience more of. And so when you're in that struggle of impatience, impatience is an underlying belief that what you want isn't going to come. If it's not here by now, it's never going to come. Well, that's not true at all. We've got law of gestation that we've got to contend with. And we'll talk about law of gestation in the next call or two. Like, we've got universal laws in play here. And there are often, with these big goals that you have, there's lots of moving pieces. And there's a lot of different people that are actually involved in bringing what you want into physical form. So if it's not here yet, and you are doing your part and only your part, you can afford to be patient, because it's going to come when it's ready and when you're ready. What you can't afford is doubt. You cannot afford that. You can't afford doubt, you can't afford disbelief, and you can't afford hesitation. Those are luxuries that are in the past. And the reason why you cannot afford those is that we don't have time. Time is running out. You can feel it. Time is going faster and faster and faster. It's why we can move energy really, really fast these days without having to dig into the cause, because it doesn't matter. It just wants to move. And so, like, that's where we need to be, in that certainty. It's on its way. And in the meantime, I'm going to look around and see what's working, and how I'm already rich, and how I'm already wealthy and abundant, and how beautiful and glorious life is right now. And I can be happy right now. It's part of surrender. And it's that choice. Peace is a choice. I choose to be peaceful regardless of my circumstances, regardless of what's going on. It's absolutely a choice. So then he says, don't boast or brag of your success or talk about it unnecessarily. True faith is never boastful. Simply feel the faith and let it work out in every transaction. Feel the faith. Feel the truth spoken in advance, because you've committed to the decision. And then let it work out in every transaction. That means don't jump in there and try to meddle with the job that's the universe's job. Just let it work out. Like, this is going to unfold in a really cool way. So I'm just going to pull this thread, and I'm going to be along for the joy of the journey. And I'm going to connect to joy as often as I can. Why is it some people are able to manifest certain things that are a massive shift in a short amount of time? Because they've changed their belief. And they've gotten themselves on the frequency of what it is they want. That's all it is. It's literally all it is. And we get enamored with the process, and we get enamored with why and what was the cause. And so we keep ourselves steeped in the energy of what you don't want and what we're trying to shift, when we can just say, I'm done. Like boom, that's over, that's done. And my belief caused it. So, okay, so we can just say, I learned this when I was 6. I probably heard something from my parents, or somebody injured me when I was very little, so I created this really deep belief around it. But a belief is nothing more than a decision. I made a decision and I gave it meaning that doesn't serve me. And it's keeping me constricted, and it's keeping me being held back. Do I need to share that? Oh, okay, I'll share it. So all of us have abuse in our past. All right, like you're not really going to find any people on this planet anymore these days that haven't had some sort of abuse in their past. And some of it was tiny, and some people have just had massive amounts of abuse in their past. When you have abuse as a child, or when you've had responsibility heaped upon you as a child that is adult responsibility that wasn't yours to carry. So if you're actually the parent in a parent-child relationship, or if a parent is no longer there in the home and you have to kind of fill that role to some degree, what happens is we kind of get stuck a little bit in that child part of us, thinking that we still have to take on these responsibilities. And so your child comes up and starts to run the show. Your inner child will start to run the show. That's why when you want to leap, you find yourself going, I don't even know how to do this, and what if I do it all wrong, and don't blow this, and we got to be perfect at this, and then it just kinks everything all up. But when we can understand that, oh, well, so this is what happened, and I'm an adult now, and so I get to call the shots, and I'm the one that's creating this. And because I'm an adult, I am much more mature, and I have the skills that I need. And my little 9-year-old that's inside me doesn't need to come and run the show anymore. And so, like, when you're feeling that, oh, it's not fair, and why doesn't anything work out for me? And like when you're feeling those things like a 9-year-old feels, or a 13-year-old feels, whatever, then you can know that, oh, that part of me is actually trying to run things again, and that's not their job. And so that's when you get to have these really great boundaries and be like, yeah, so this isn't your deal. You get to go play dress up, and you get to go to Disneyland, and you get to, go wherever. I'm taking care of this right now. And that also helps you to have massive shifts in a very short amount of time, when you can just have that distinction of, all right, who's running the circus right now? Is it the ringmaster, or is it the monkeys that are running? Because I want the ringmaster to run the circus rather than the monkeys. So, and it's just about awareness, and it's about decision. It's just awareness and decision and beautiful states. That's all it is. It's so simple, and it's so brilliant. So brilliant. Feel the faith, let it work out in every transaction. Let every act and tone and look express the quiet assurance that you are getting rich, that you are already rich. Words will not be necessary to convey this feeling to others. They will feel the sense of increase when in your presence, and will be attracted to you again. You must so impress others that they will feel that in associating with you, they will get increase for themselves. See that you give them a use value greater than the cash value you are taking from them. So Jill, you want to know how to make partner by September, or whatever your date is? It's impression of increase. It's that certainty. It's that quiet assurance that you are on the path of increase, and that you increase all who come in contact with you. You benefit them and give them great service, and they're going to want to align themselves with you because of that. And this goes for all of you. Like, just and it's not even like you end up carrying yourself in a very different way, but it's not this frantic, frenetic, I gotta make it all happen kind of energy. It's like, well, I know my part. My part is to really lock into what I want and how that's going to feel, and get myself into a beautiful state, make sure that my beliefs are lining up with what it is that I want. You know how to do that based on NEDS. And then I'm going to follow the nudges that I get. I get the easy, fun part. And then there's just this settling, like this settling down, this calm down, like, oh, this is awesome. It allows you to stay in the present moment. It allows you to be present. And then people are like, how are you not freaking out about everything? How come you're not stressed out all the time? Well, it's the impression of increase that you're giving them. And then they'll just flock to you. It's so fun. It's so fulfilling, because you know then, and you have that certainty in you that you bless their lives. And it's not an ego thing, and it's not a look at me, I'm so amazing thing. It's not an arrogance thing at all. It's just this inner knowing, because that's what you decided. And people will feel that, and they will love that. He says, take an honest pride in doing this and let everybody know it, and you will have no lack of customers. People will go where they are given increase. And the Supreme, which desires increase in all and which knows all, will move toward you, men and women who have never heard of you. Your business will increase rapidly, and you will be surprised at the unexpected benefits which will come to you. You will be able from day to day to make larger combinations, secure greater advantages, and to go on into a more congenial vocation if you desire to do so. But doing all this, sorry, there's a typo in there, but doing all this, you must never lose sight of your vision of what you want or your faith and purpose to get what you want. You'll just, like, you don't have to go find them. They find you. The Supreme, which knows all, will move toward you, men and women who have never heard of you. But they want what you've got. And they'll, oh, I don't even know how I got on your list. I don't even know how somehow I just got this email, or I talked to so-and-so and they said you were amazing. And so I figured I needed to talk to you and see what you were all about. Like, it's amazing. It's amazing how it happens. You'll get people that you'll talk to them and you'll explain a little bit about what you have to offer. And they're like, yes, and here's my credit card. And then they'll say, what did I just buy? Like, what are we doing again? I don't even know what I just bought. I just know that I need to work with you. Or I just know I need to hire you. I don't even know what it is, but you are definitely the woman for the job. So let's do this. Like, it's really fun when you do that. And when you can just get to that point. Oh my God, 2 minutes. It is, Shamara. It's totally, it's like, I don't know. I just feel like I need to go into this class. I don't even know why. I don't even know what she's teaching. Like, and it happens to me, and it happens to all of us all the time. When we are in the presence of somebody who has just dialed in on the impression of increase, and most people don't even know that that's what they're doing or that's what they've done. And that's why it's so important that I let you know what it is, because I want you to be able to rinse and repeat it. I worked with somebody one time, and she was my marketer, and she was a life coach, and she'd done all this stuff. So we were talking, and she was like, well, I just naturally do stuff. Like, everything just always works out for me, and I just expect it to work out. And so I always get clients, and this always works, and that always works. And I was thinking about that. I'm like, wow, that would be really cool, except you don't know how to rinse and repeat it. You just do it naturally. Like, you can't teach anybody what you do. You're just like, well, I don't know, I just do it and it works. And somebody's like, well, what if I do that same thing and it doesn't work? well, I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with you. I just know that it works for me, right? But that's why this mastermind is so powerful, because I want you to be so clear on what the steps are and what your part is and what your part is not, so that you can rinse and repeat over and over for the rest of your life, no matter what it is that you're going after. And you'll start with the Neds. You'll start with, I have no idea how I'm going to get this, and this feels really, really big to me, but oh, this feels really fun, and look what I've done in the past. And so that's proof positive that I can create things out of nothing. This is awesome. Okay, let's just try it and see. And then you'll get into flowing, and you'll get into just loving the experience. And instead of dragging your butt out of bed at 5 going, okay, we can do this. Let's just do this day. We can get this taken care of. Everything's going to be okay. I know this because this is what I used to do. You pop out of bed like, oh, awesome. I get to spend 20 minutes visualizing. I'm going to go to the bathroom. I'm going to set my timer. I'm going to write my goal, and here we go. This is going to be so fun. I'm going to connect. I'm going to connect with my God. I'm going to connect through scriptures or through something that fills me up spiritually. I'm going to pray. I'm going to meditate. Oh, I get to do this for the next hour because it feels so amazing. Suddenly, you don't have to convince yourself that you love your life. You're just bubbling over with joy because you've unleashed magic in your life. Because you're doing just your part, and your part is awesome, and your part is fun, and your part is the easy lifting. Okay, can I share with you a story? It's going to take about 10 minutes, and I know that we're at our hour. Are we okay to stay on for just a little bit longer? All right, I want to show you what impression of increase looks like in real life. And I know I've shared with you a few examples, but this just happened to me a couple of months ago. So I was at a conference, the conference in Florida, where just so much changed. And there was a woman who got on stage, and I had decided that I was going to follow the nudges that I got. So if there was a program or a product or something that I felt nudged to get, then I would do it, and I wouldn't, would let the money work itself out. And there were some great speakers on stage, and the things that they were selling were really interesting to me. And I'm like, yeah, I could see how that would help in my business, but I don't feel nudged toward it. And then this woman got up on stage, and I was like, oh, what's she talking about? Divine living? Okay, that's interesting. But all right, talk to me. So she gets on stage and starts sharing her story about how much scarcity she was in, and how she had no money, and she was highly educated, and she was so tired of her circumstances. She actually moved from Michigan to LA to become a life coach. She'd been a psychotherapist for years and wasn't making any money in it. And so she moved to LA because she wanted a different environment, she wanted different energy, and she wanted to make some money. And she went to this seminar. She had $100 to her name, and she took 20 of that to fill up her car with gas because it was clear across town. And when they got there, they had to buy their workbook, and there were a couple of other books that they were selling, and like DVDs that they were selling, and they were like $20. And she was like, some of you are thinking, well, $20 is no big deal, but when your net worth is $100 and it's now 80 because you got gas, that's a lot of money to invest. But she decided that she was done with status quo. Like she was changing it. So she goes to the seminar and just loved what she's hearing, and she decided in that moment that she would never struggle financially ever again. Never. She would never struggle financially ever again. And I was like, I got to write that down because that's a really great decision to make. And there were two people that she really, really resonated with and she wanted to work with. And she had no money. And the first program was like 15 grand, something like that. It was actually 20 grand. It was 20 grand. She goes up to the lady after she's done talking, and she's like, do you do payment plans? And the lady was like, no. She was like, yeah, okay. Well, I've decided I never struggle financially ever again. So what am I going to do? And she said, on the next break, she wrote down her debit card number because all of her credit cards were maxed out. Nobody would loan her money. She owed 60 grand in the tax lien. And she handed him her paper and she said, don't run this for 2 weeks. And then there was another guy that she really liked in his program was 10,000. So she did the same to him. So she had 30 grand that she had to come up with in 2 weeks. And she had no money. She had one client and they were wrapping up their sessions together. And she had no job, no prospects, no nothing. All she knew was that she was going to get 30 grand so she could work with these 2 people. And so every day for 2 weeks, in 13 days, I got $30,000. I'm so grateful I've got $30,000 in my account. And her roommate was like, how are you going to get 30 grand and you don't even have a job? And she's like, I have $30,000 in my account. I'm so grateful I got $30,000 in my account. And she just kept saying that over and over again and picturing working with these coaches she wanted to work with and changing her life and what she wanted to create. And she was doing a countdown. In 8 days, I got $30,000 in my account. In 6 days, I got $30,000 in my account. 2 days before they were going to run her card was her last session with her only client. And she had done some marriage counseling with him and his wife, and he owned a business. And he said, you have helped me so much. Like, you have changed everything for us, and we are so grateful, and I want you to train my sales team. And she was like, okay, all right, what's your business? And he said, basement renovations or something like that. I can't remember, but something to do with basements. And she had no idea what that was. And she had sold him a package of like, it was like a $6,000 package for X amount of sessions. And she was like, okay. And she's like, I had no idea what to ask. I had no idea where to go with this conversation. I didn't know to tell him what price. She said, how many people are on your team? And he said, I've got 10 people who are under me. And she's like, okay. And then she didn't say anything. She had nothing. And he said, so would I just buy 10 packages at $6,000 a piece then? And she was like, yes, that's exactly what you do. You buy 10 packages at $6,000 a piece. And that's what he did. And so 2 days before the $30,000 was due, she did not have $30,000 in her account. She had $60,000 in her account because she saw the impression of increase that these coaches had with her. She ended up like private mentoring with Marianne Williamson, if you guys know who she is. She's actually running for president now. So she mentored with her and became very good friends with her over the years. And that, like, she wanted, like, they conveyed impression of increase, and that's what she decided where she was as well. And she had no business whatsoever proclaiming that she was in the path of increase. But she changed her belief in that decision that she would never struggle financially ever again. When you see that you are in the way of increase and you give that impression to all, your circumstances will shift. And ladies, I was nudged to her like nobody's business. And I was like, wow, okay. I've got to work with her. Dang. I wasn't planning on this, but I had decided that I was following nudges of faith. Like, that's my whole thing this year, is to follow where the nudges lead, because I know I can trust the nudges. And the only way you know how to trust the nudges is by following them when you're in a beautiful state and you commit. And then they lead you to incredible, incredible things. And so what impression of increase allows you to do is become bold, unapologetic, but not brash and not in people's faces. So it's not that. It's just this acceptance of your greatness and who you are and where you're going. It allows you to let go of the outcome. It allows you to let go of the worry and any anxiety and any impatience that it hasn't arrived yet. That's what impression of increase and acting in a certain way will do for you. When you combine with it the law of compensation, which says that the universe gives you equal returns for what you send out. So that means that if you have a servant's heart when you're talking to somebody, whether you're sharing a business idea with them, whether you're at work and you're selling something, like no matter what it is, when you come at it with a servant's heart and you know you are in the impression of increase, you are in the way of increase, and you are in certainty in that, you know you are at a certain vibration because you can feel it. That allows you to speak openly and honestly with people and invite them to work with you. And whether they say yes or no literally doesn't matter, because you know that the universe is going to compensate you for the way that you have just added value to somebody else's life. So now you're actually obeying several universal laws that we'll get into in the next few calls. And whether they say no, like, it's okay, because you know you have served them well during your time together. And you know that the universe always compensates you. It doesn't always compensate you through the person that you gave service to, but you don't need it to come from that person, because the universe knows who's going to be even better matched to you and who you can help even more and who will run even farther with your work that you teach them. That is the power of impression of increase and acting in a certain way. Circumstances will shift. They have to, because now you're on a different vibration. And ladies, you feel it. And it's not this grabbing sense of, I have to hold this, I have to hold this. It's your new normal. It's what you become. Remember, what you feel, you are. And your circumstances have absolutely no bearing on how you feel from this moment forward, as long as you choose to make that decision. But when you can ignore the how and ignore the circumstances, while you still got a deal. I'm not telling you to not pay your bills. I'm not telling you to, not live in the current circumstances, but rise above them. That's why I named my group mentoring program Rise Up, because this is how we rise up above our circumstances and therefore change them. And we do it all through here. And it becomes the most beautiful, lovely, amazing experience. It's how we unleash magic, by harnessing the power of our mind and leveraging the power of the universe. We unleash magic and we literally create the reality we want to live. So just keep doing exactly what I'm teaching you to do. And if you're not doing exactly what I teach you to do, then reach out for assistance if you're needing it, and recommit, because that's all you have to do. And there are going to be days where you have states of suffering. We live in a world of contrasts and opposites. And so there's going to be those days where we fall down, and those days where we fall down a lot. And that's okay. We just keep getting back up. All the universe and all God wants is you to be willing. Are you willing to try it? And when you say yes, you open yourself up to receiving, and then God works miracles in your life every single day. Okay, I have now gone 13 minutes over instead of 10. So was this helpful for everyone? All right, something you can sink your teeth into. And I know it's super late for my East Coasters. Thank you for staying with me the whole time. It's really early for Ioana over there in London. So, we get to end on a late day and start an early day, but I'm so thrilled to have all of you here. I adore you. I am just, again, I'm so honored to be able to lead you on this amazing journey. Your journey is the destination. So make sure that your journey is a magical one, and you do it by doing this. So much love to you guys. We will see you in the Voxer group, and we will see you in our call next week. We're going to go into universal laws to get you going, the laws to use to get you going with your goals, and more juiciness to come. So have a wonderful day, or sleep well tonight, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks, Allison. Bye.
Good night.